Kakadosh Boker Tov. We're continuing with the halachot of Netilat Yadayim on Sif Yud Gimel and Maran and Shulchan Aruch Siman Kuf Nun Chet. It says, according to Shita Maran, if you're going to do Tevilat Yadayim in the water, for example, you're going to have a river, you're going to have, let's say, the sea or other places where you're going to come and you're going to do Tevilat Yadayim. Now, technically speaking, we will learn later on that it could be that if it's salty waters, it could be a problem in the sea because then you cannot do the Netilat Yadayim over there. However, though, right, let's say you come and you do it in a river or a place where you technically the waters are clean, that you would actually be able to drink them, there's no problem. So he says over here, you could actually do the Netilat Yadayim and you could eat the bread without drying your hands. Or the same halacha would apply if you're going to do Netilat Yadayim and you're pouring a revit of water in one shot, right? Or he says, so it comes out that according to Shulchan Aruch, nowadays that usually we use an abundance of water. If you're going to use more than a revit, you don't have to dry your hands. Yesterday we learned that you're obligated to dry your hands because if not, you're eating lechem tameh. Right? However, though, here all of a sudden, right, we're trying to see that technically maybe you don't need to do that whatsoever. So he says that here in the footnote of David Yosef brings down that even though Maran, Shitat Maran is that technically you do not need to do the Niguv Yadayim, the drying of the hands, once you put so much of the water on your hands, abundance of your hands, the majority of the Acharonim, they actually argue in the Shulchan Aruch. Some people paskin that you always have to dry your hands, and some people differentiate between doing the Tevilat Yadayim, which you don't have to, and putting a lot of water in your hands, doing a regular Netilat Yadayim, but with an abundance of water that you do need to. And therefore, La Halacha, he comes and he says it is proper to come and to do the Niguv Yadayim, which means that whether it's going to be that you're going to pour the Revi'it or each one in your hands, right, especially according to the Minhag that you would still do Netilat Yadayim even after the washing, but before of the drying, right? So therefore, because of that, for sure we should come and we should dry our hands, right, without any questions. That means even though the Shulchan Aruch says you don't need to, we should still come and dry our hands, right? Even though we use much more than a revi'it on doing Netilat Yadayim. The next Siman Kuf Nun Tet, Sif Aleph, is talking about what kli do you use for Netilat Yadayim. So Maran brings down, En notlim yadayim ela bekeli. Kelim kesherim. Says Maran, whenever you're going to do Netilat Yadayim, you have to use a keli. You have to use a utensil. You can't just come and open the faucet and start washing your hands. You need a utensil. Now, Chazal, they actually came and they said that this is based upon the pasuk in Mechatat, to do the chatat waters of the Paraduma, where it says, V'natan alav mayim chayim el keli, or midin kiddush yadayim v'raglayim hamikdash. Meaning, just like when the Kohen in the Bet HaMikdash, when he used to sanctify his hands and his feet, he used to use the kior and the kanot. There he used to use the mea kior. So too it was a utensil. So too we have to come and we have to use a utensil. Now all the utensils are going to be kosher for Netilat Yadayim, whether they're made out of wood, whether they're made out of bone, whether they're made out of glass, right, or other things as well. All the utensils are going to be kosher. Now mutar mi'ikar adin, you're allowed to come and to use any type of utensil which is made out of paper or plastic for the Netilat Yadayim, right? And even though Derech HaOlam is lishtamesh, special, he says over here, right? Lishtamesh bekelim rak beofen chad pa'ami, that you only use these things as a one-off. Nevertheless, because they're disposables, nevertheless, it's still considered a kli to do it in Netilat Yadayim. And especially if a person does not have another utensil, he's allowed to use it. Nevertheless, in order to be Yitzadeh Kol HaDeot, right, it's better to use something else, right? Or that a few people will come and you do the Netilat Yadayim from this keli, right? In order that you should already know that it's not going to be a one-off or one usage, that you're going to use it for many, many multiple usages, so therefore it's going to be without any questions whatsoever. And then Maran says, which means the keli which you're going to use for Netilat Yadayim has to be able to hold a revi'it. How much is a revi'it? We always say it's going to be 86 cc, 86 milliliters, right? And even if you're going to do it one after another, you always need the minimum of the inside over here is going to hold a revi'it.